I'll record to the.
There we go.
All right. So I am Audrey Parker with Mystic Medicine KC, and I am a Reiki master practitioner and teacher, and was inspired by some of the facilitator or the people that have done the Reiki training to do an interview with them because I know a lot of people wonder how Reiki can help them, and I figured one of the best ways is to interview some people that have had some amazing and inspirational stories and change and transformations. So, Natalie is one of the people that first came to mind when I had this inspired idea. So I'll turn over to you, Natalie. If you can just maybe say your name again, but then, when did you take your um, Reiki master, and like what initially, I guess I'm kind of getting ahead of the way. And I'll give the disclaimer that I am not a professional interviewer or a podcaster. So
Yeah.
maybe raw and vulnerable. But so let's start with like what initially drew you to Reiki, and why did you decide to pursue it?
I'm Natalie. Um, and I'm a nurse. And I say that's because that's part of who I am. I've always thought of myself as somebody who takes care of other people. But I never filled my own cup back up before. And I had a dark night of the soul. And I just decided that I was going to fix my life. And I started looking into things. And of course, metaphysical things came up like tarot. So I started studying tarot and no idea what I'm doing. I go to the metaphysical fair close to me and I go in and I get a reading. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're definitely clairvoyant and things like this. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not really buying it yet. Like I know there's something there, but I haven't figured it out yet. And I had this epiphany before I became a nurse. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do, God, what am I going to do? And then I knew I was going to be a nurse. I didn't know how I was going to get it done, but that's what I was going to do. And it was the same feeling. And I knew that I was going to be a healer and it was going to be important and it was going to have lights and sounds. That makes no sense to me. I don't, what are they talking about? Okay. So I'm going to be a healer and I start looking online. This is at about 6:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning when this happened. And I happened on Audrey's site and I saw it Reiki and I was like, well, I don't know what that is, but this is the right direction. Let me email her. So I sent her an email. 5, 10 minutes later, she sends me back another email. I'm like, oh, this is okay. Timing is everything for me. That's a big thing. And so we talked briefly, and I was like, okay, I'm excited about this. I'm going to go do this Reiki thing. And everybody around me is like, what is that? I'm like, I have no idea, but I'm going to try it, because I'm at this point in my life. I need something. I'm desperate. I'm desperate. So I go to Reiki, and immediately I knew things were different. I knew things were going to be different because I could feel it in my hands. They got hot and it scared me a little bit. It excited me a little bit, but I stuck with it and I kept doing it every day on myself, every day. I didn't talk about it to other people. When I had my quiet time, every night I did Reiki. And then I was like, okay. And things started to make a little more sense. And because I was focusing inward instead of trying to look outside of me, that started to make sense. Look in, you're not looking for anything out there. And then I took Reiki too with Audrey and
I want to pause real quick with the level one.
Mhm.
One of the reasons I think why you were able to progress so quickly and had such transformative changes is because you actually went home and practiced and did it and worked on yourself. So what you just shared of doing that for yourself regularly and not looking
Mhm.
externally, I just think that is a huge point. And
Yeah.
such a piece that many of us, and I work on this myself too, is as healers, as caregivers, recovering people pleasers, that is new and foreign. So I just really wanted to highlight that because that is
Yeah.
one of the things that stood out with you, and watching your transformation was just
Hmm.
how committed you were to yourself. So yeah, okay. So
I
yeah,
never,
I just wanted to
yeah.
like a kind of a college between the level 1, 2, and 3 and see how the progression goes. So
Yeah. Well, I started to learn that, like, I gave myself time. I'd never done that before. Like, that was foreign. Being nice to myself was very foreign to me. And yeah, then I took the level two, and I was like, this is the right path. This is where I'm supposed to be. And things have just gotten better and better. I mean, I still practice on myself. I don't do it daily as I should every day. Sometimes this week has been a slow week, but you know, we all have phases. So, but yeah.
so after you did level 2, how did level 2 change your
Oh,
practice?
I started doing it on other people
Okay.
for the first time, and it was right before level three that I started doing it on the people. So that we're talking some time because I didn't have the confidence in myself until that point. And I brought it up to my boss at work and I said, so I want to try this thing on our residents. And she was like, cool, let's do it. And so I started a Reiki practice. It's an activity every week on Thursdays. Um, we bring the residents in, and we usually do about eight. Myself and the activity director, who is now Reiki level two.
Hmm.
She didn't know what Reiki was before we started this. So she's now a Reiki level two. So I feel very responsible for her. But so yeah, we do that, and the residents they love it, and they seek me out. They seek her out. One lady calls me on the phone, and she said, "I need you." And I said, "What's the matter?" And she said, "I need you to come do that thing you do." Because she was anxious the first time she was feeling anxious about a family situation, and I offered it to her, and she accepted. And so then she was calling me down to her room to do Reiki.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that that you, because sometimes when people start this Reiki journey, often like you, and even when I took my first Reiki class, it was like, I just sold my computer store. I don't know. I've got time and stuff. Let me do this. And so what I love though, is sometimes people are like, well, I don't really want to like be a full-time Reiki practitioner, or like, I don't know what this looks like. And this is one of the things I admired about you is you just took it, you just jumped in. And I think a lot of people that end up in the Reiki classes are like, I don't know why, but I'm just here. And what I love is like when people can integrate it in their real life, right? In their day to day life and what they're already doing. And so I just think that is so profound that you've been able to bring that into what you were already doing,
Mm-hmm.
enhance your well being, enhance the well being of others, and obviously the ripple effect of passing Reiki on to other
100%.
people. And that to me is really what Reiki master is about, you know. So I've heard people say some things about, oh, you shouldn't have a master in life, and they just don't understand Reiki, what Reiki master means. It is a journey to commit to healing for self and others, and bringing your spirit in, and fully integrating your gifts and abilities, and in whatever unique way is your expression here on earth. And I saw you shift with that so much gratitude in your heart with this, and I think that's why these things just keep unfolding for you in such beautiful ways.
Uh, Gratitude is everything because I am acutely aware of where I was before I started this journey. I'm acutely aware of it. And I am so grateful. I'm so grateful because I was trying to kill myself um, with alcohol. And, I found the strength to overcome that. That was just the tool I used in the past. And so I'm grateful to be alive. And the fact that I love myself never felt like that before, and it's good. And I'm enjoying getting to know me and sharing all this love that I have. Um, yeah, it's big,
So
life
did you,
changing.
with the activities director, did you do the Reiki, do her Reiki attunements?
No, because I had just completed Reiki level 3, and I never never seen it like, I know we practiced it, but again, confidence. um, and so I go to a Reiki circle once a month, and they suggested this Udemy.
Okay.
So I gave her that, and I said, if you're really serious about wanting to do it, I said, I'm not confident in my ability to do the attunements right now because I'm so new. I said, but if you're serious and you want to do this, take this, do this Udemy. And she did, and now she has her kids doing it.
Mm.
Like her teenage daughter is doing it. It's just, I said I was going to start a pandemic of love. That's what I told my boss. And I'm starting to see the waves going out. Like it's rippling out. It's working. Like it's spreading.
Mhm. And it's fun that I love that just people calling, hey, that thing that you do. You don't even have
Yes.
to know. It's the
Hmm.
presence, it's the love, it's the gratitude, it's that pandemic of love. So
Hmm.
it's great to see that. You know, see that unfolding for you, and that's the piece that gives me joy, is watching how people take it and go with it in their own unique journeys. So um, so besides, doing like, so that you do the weekly thing at the office and one-on-ones with people, what other ways do you use Reiki in just your daily routine or your daily life?
Oh gosh. Well, this is I get, I use it on it like all the time. I'm always like my grandson, if he hurts himself, and I'm always touching him, and he's like, "You're doing that thing, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am a little bit, just love, spreading love." And I just use it all the time, and I've seen a change in them and me. And I have a contractor now who's coming Monday to build a room in my. I have a large 2-car garage, and he's going to put a 9 by 13 room in there for me to do Reiki here at home
That's
for
awesome.
people. So I thought about offering it to like my neighbors and just saying, "Hey, I do this thing." And excuse me, I've had a cold. Um, but yeah, I just want to share it with everybody.
So one of the simplest ways when I describe Reiki is I just say it's a hands-on healing technique from Japan, that helps promote stress
Yeah,
reduction. And I usually stop there and then go on. How do you answer that question when somebody asks you what
I
Reiki
do.
is?
Yeah, when they ask about the thing I do, that's kind of the joke at work. So, but I always tell them it's a form of Japanese meditation and relaxation, that whole thing. And then if they ask more questions, I tell them all they want to know. I had a big conversation with 2 hospice representatives today, because I was telling them about, I'm now sending out, I do care plans and the things I do at work. I send out letters for care plan meetings with family members every 3 months. And I'm now sending out a letter with every 3 months, a section of the population. Like I'll send out about 20 a month. I just sent them out inviting family members to a free Reiki session
Hmm.
to
I,
get the family members involved in it too.
I love that.
And we're going to get the hospice staff and let them invite them to Reiki's too. So
I love that.
my the
I've done
the
a
owner
couple.
of our company she came and had Reiki. So
That's awesome. I
yeah,
love when it comes into the medical. I tend to be one of those people that I feel like traditional medicine and we call it alternative, but I feel like it's like the original medicine, right? But I love when the
right.
worlds can combine and people can realize that we don't need to fight or compete with them. That there's this beautiful mix of preventative and also Western medicine coming together. So that's, I think, one of the things I really love about seeing how you're using that with your nursing. And I love the hospice group. I spoke at a group of hospice volunteers, and just, being able to bring Reiki into the medical, especially if you're dealing with hospice or just as a nurse, it's a high pressure, a lot of you're working with a lot of people and sometimes understaffed and things like that. So I love the ability for Reiki not only to help the patients or the people that you're working with, but also the staff. And it sounds like you've been able to blend both of those and help on both sides.
Yeah, Monday I had one of the girls come in and she's like, I need some Reiki. I said, right now? And she said, can you? And I said, let's go. So yeah, I got her fixed up.
Cool.
She was
What
just
would
having
you
a bad day.
Yeah, and that's where it's good, is it sometimes just helps us recenter into that moment and clear away some of the mental chatter so that we can reground and center and look at things from a different perspective. So
Yeah.
what would be your advice that you would give somebody if they were kind of overwhelmed or curious or uncertain about whether to take the Reiki journey?
It can do no harm. I mean, it can't hurt you, so it's definitely worth pursuing. Like, it's worth it completely. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have Reiki.
And you move through the levels pretty quickly, and um, but you were ready. That's what sometimes people give that answer, like how fast should I move through the levels and things. And I mean, you were just committed and ready, and that was very clear.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the activity director that I talked about, she's two, and I said, I will give you your third attunement. I said, we will get there. I said, but it's gonna be, 6 months or more. And she's like, oh, definitely. So we'll know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I love seeing the changes in the people around me and the changes in me and
Mhm.
how they respond to me. It's go for it.
And if you were to give any feedback or what from the training, like going through my training, just for personal feedback, what would you feel that are like the strengths of the going through my program?
I
or
felt
what
safe.
or what or what what pieces did stood out for you for with my personal style?
I felt safe. I felt comfortable. And I used to be pretty antsy, like pretty jumpy. So you always made me feel really safe and comfortable. I wasn't sometimes when people get close to you like that and they're in your personal space, it can feel intimidating, but you were never like that. So it's very gentle and soothing, I thought.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed working with you and watching your journey unfold. And like I said, no, we already talked about it, but just your gratitude and just how wide open you showed up with your heart and working on this journey is just inspirational. And I love to hear how you're using it and allowing it to ripple out into the world. So to end, if you could sum up your Reiki journey in like a sentence or two, what would be your summary or your mic drop moment?
It's changed my entire life. Nothing's the same in all the best ways. So I don't know what else to say though, really.
I love that. Are you still working with your sound healing, the sound bowls?
Some actually I keep them at work now because I have tongue drums, tuning forks, thunder sticks, rain sticks that we use in our Reiki Sounds activity for the residents.
Okay.
So I use it mostly at work
Awesome.
because they love it. And you can have somebody playing um, I don't know, the rain stick and somebody's banging on a tongue drum over there. And it's a cacophony of noise, but it's not like you'd listen to a band learning to play, you know?
Mhm.
It's just it all kind of comes together somehow and it's really beautiful.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time to do this interview and just to discuss, your personal journey, how you're impacting others, and I just hope that does inspire, especially in the nursing industry. I just think it's such a area, and I say especially, but I think in all areas of life, like you said, everything can change just from a commitment to fill up our own cups.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Is there anything else you want to say before we end the recording?
No, I'm good.
Well, thank you. So much
I
gratitude
appreciate you.
to
I
you.
appreciate you.